Hello and welcome to McKendree University's Academic Program Webinar Series. Today we are highlighting our School of Education. We will get started shortly, but if you have any questions at all during the presentation, please feel free to use the Q&A feature below. We will either answer your question live during the presentation or get back to you directly in the Q&A feature. All right, so the time is 5:30, so let's go ahead and get started. Let me start first by welcoming in our panelists, so I'll have them go ahead and join as I do our introduction. So here they come in. All right, so first let me introduce myself. My name is Caitlin Mueller. I am an Assistant Director of Admission in the Office of Admission at McKendree University. And I'm excited to be a part of the School of Education's academic program webinar. On our panel today, we have Dr. Katie Alford, an Assistant Professor of Education, and Cindy McAndrews, the Academic Advisor for the School of Education. I'm not sure if our panelists would like to add anything, provide additional information to their introduction, or just say hello before we get started.
Hi, I'm excited to be here.
And I will go ahead and bring up their presentation and we will go ahead and I will pass it on to you. Again, we will start the School of Education presentation and then answer some of your questions. Again, I would encourage you, if you have those questions, to be sure to drop them in the Q&A feature. Again, we will answer them live or answer them directly in the future. Please do not hesitate to ask questions. After the School of Education presentation, we will have some general admission and McKendree University information. And if the panelists are ready, then I will go ahead and pass it on to them.
Thanks, Caitlin. So welcome to the webinar for the School of Education at McKendree University. We're glad you decided to join us this evening. Go ahead, Caitlin. McKendree University has a variety of programs that provide you with licensure for the state of Illinois. As you can see, they range from a program in elementary ed all the way through K-12 programs in the School of Ed. We also have a non-licensure program, which is our Educational Studies program. As you can see, this is broken down into not only major, but what the licensure areas are. So our first program is elementary ed. The elementary ed license in the state of Illinois is 1st through 6th grade. We also have an elementary special ed license, which provides you with not only the elementary license, but with a special education K through 21 license as well. We have licensure in the areas of middle school, which are language arts, mathematics, social science, and science, and that's grades 5 through 8. The difference between the grades 1 through 6th, 5th and 6th grade in elementary, and 5th and 6th grade in middle school is in elementary, you're a generalist where you're teaching all subjects from reading to math to PE to art. And in middle school, you're only teaching the specific subject that you're licensed for, be that language arts, mathematics, social science, or science. And then we also have a secondary education program. The license that you get for that is for high school, teaching 9th through 12th graders. We have a big variety of licensure opportunities. English language arts is for anybody who wants to teach English or journalism or speech or any of that kind of area. We have history education for those who are excited about history, mathematics, science, both in the areas of biology and chemistry as an emphasis, and also social science in the areas of history and political science. Our final licensure programs are at the K-12 range, which means that you're licensed to teach not only high school, but also at the elementary and the middle school range as well. Our two programs available are physical education and music. And in music, you specialize either in instrumental or vocal. Our final program available in the School of Education is an educational studies degree. The educational studies degree doesn't provide you with a license for the state of Illinois, but it does provide you with training in order to take on roles like working at a museum or participating in leadership at a daycare, or possibly working in the corporate industry as a trainer. And I'm going to let Dr. Alford take over and tell you a little bit about our, oh, sorry, I flipped to an extra slide. So our program features are that of, it's a liberal arts program, meaning you take a variety of classes across a variety of areas like English, mathematics, social science, science, philosophy. You also take a broad range of education classes that are designed in order to support you in being a teacher in the school district. And the final set of courses that you take are actually connected to field experiences. Those help you to become familiar with the school districts. You're out in the schools and within the setting in which you'll eventually be teaching. Go ahead, Caitlin.
So I'm Dr. Alford, like Caitlin said, and I'm relatively new to McKendree, but prior to coming here, I was a secondary teacher in the English classroom for 10 years, and I taught ESL, I taught reading, and I taught AP courses at the high school level. So I have a lot of experience in the classroom. These are some of the core courses that we offer at McKendree that you'll be required to take in most of our programs. One of the introduction courses, which you'll do during kind of your gen ed time, is you'll take technology in the classroom, which is a really fun course that highlights some of the neat technologies that are out there, which there's becoming more and more, especially with the circumstances with COVID. More and more programs are being utilized. So you'll get to know some of those programs, become familiar with them. You'll also learn our software that we use to write lesson plans, which is called Live Text. You'll learn how to use that in your technology course as well. Then you'll go into Introduction to Teaching, which is kind of a history of education in America and what are kind of schools set up like and what does it look like and what are the hierarchies and the structures and funding and all sorts of information about how schools work and what they are designed to do. And then you'll move into your field. Oh, one other thing about Intro to Teaching is you'll also be doing a 24-hour just field observation. You'll be placed at a school where you'll just kind of be sitting back and watching what teachers are doing, kind of exploring what does this work mean and what does it look like. And then you'll move into your first field. We have 4 field placements, which I'll talk about on the next slide. But your first field placement you'll be taking at the same time as you take instructional planning. And right now I teach all those courses. So you'll be in a class with me and I will prepare you for everything you need to know to be successful in your Field 1 experience. I'm going to walk you through how to write a lesson plan and what are theories in learning and how do you make sure that instruction is good for your students and all those kind of nitpicky things that are going on in behind the scenes of the work of being a teacher. Then you will go into taking an assessment class. And you'll look at different types of formative and summative assessments, high stakes assessments, low stakes assessments in classrooms. And then what do we do with that data? How do we as teachers take up assessments and figure out what we can do and how we can improve our instruction based on that information? Then you'll take one of my favorite courses, educational psychology, where you learn kind of the developmental stages of each grade band and what's going on in their brains and how are they processing information and what's happening as they're learning, and how are students motivated and what draws them in. And then the fun part of that class is then you start to apply it and think about, okay, what can I do in my classroom to pull on my knowledge of my kids' psychology, and how can I better serve them as a teacher in the classroom. You'll also early on then take a multicultural education course. I also teach that course as well. And it is just, how do you serve all the unique students that are going to walk into your classroom? They're all not going to look and sound like you. They're going to be diverse students with all sorts of, abilities and disabilities. They're going to speak different languages. They're going to come from different cultures and religions and geographies. And they're going to have a different life experience because they're younger than you. And we're going to talk about in that class, how do you serve those kids? How do you best prepare instruction so each and every one of them is successful inside your classroom? Another class that you'll take is in the instruction of diverse learners. This is where you're going to learn lots of strategies to attend to students with special ed services or language services, so that you're meeting the needs of every single student, not just teaching to the middle. It's a great class. You will learn what good instruction looks like, because we know good instruction is the kind of practices that special ed teachers are using every day in their classroom. And then you'll take another one of my favorite courses is called the learning environment. This is kind of all the classroom management questions. What do I do when a student, misbehaves, and how am I going to set up my daily routines, and how do I make decisions about setting up my classroom and making sure students are, know the routines each day, and how do I manage them the best that I can so that they are sitting and learning and growing in my classroom the best that they can. So those are kind of the core courses. So like I said, there's 4 field placements during your time at McKendree as you're getting your teaching license. This is only for licensure, so that Ed Studies program doesn't require these field placements. But all the others do require 4 field placements. Kind of ramps up in how much time you're going to be spending in the classroom. At first, you're just going to go once a week into a classroom. If you're elementary, you'll be in an elementary school. If you're middle school, you'll be in a middle school. And you are going to just be observing, and then you're going to be asked that first field to teach twice. And it's nerve-wracking and exciting. But again, you're going to be in my instructional planning course, and I'm going to answer every single question you have and answer all your emails so that you feel super prepared to go in there and be the best teacher you can be, and you'll learn lots of things. And then we go into field 2, where you ramp up in more hours. You're going to spend a little bit more time. You're going to teach 3 lessons. And then field 3 is kind of similar to that. All the while, you'll also be taking methods courses. So in English language, if you're elementary, you'll be taking English language arts and math and science and history and methods courses to help you think about how you're going to plan instruction for each of those content areas. And then if you are secondary or middle, you'll also be in a methods course for that content area, and PE and music as well, while you're in those field placements. Everybody gets placed with a supervisor. This is kind of a university liaison. I'm a field supervisor. Miss McKendree is a field supervisor. So all the faculty will be supporting you as you walk into the classroom. We're going to read your lesson plans and give you lots of feedback on how to make sure that that lesson plan is the best it can be before you walk into the classroom. And then we will come and watch you. We get to come and watch you and give you lots of great tips and tricks on ways to improve your instruction so that you learn from those experiences. And we also kind of help you manage the relationship between your cooperating teacher, the teacher whose classroom you're in as well. And we end the fields with field 4, which is your student teaching experience, which means you're in the classroom all day, every day of the week. And you get to really immerse yourself in the experience of what it feels like to be the teacher. You're going to be the one taking attendance, and you're the one that's going to be designing instruction every day. And you're the one that's going to be in charge of managing behaviors and making assignments and giving assignments and grading assignments. And you'll really get a sense of what it feels like to be a teacher in the classroom. Good.
So at McKendree, we have a variety of opportunities that are outside of those field experiences and the courses that you're going to be taking. We have the Illinois Education Association student chapter here at McKendree, where you can participate in as a student in the NEA or the National Education Association. We have a chapter of Kappa Delta Pi, which is fantastic. I'm a Kappa Delta Pi myself. And we also have a Golden Apple Scholarship organization here. Both of those are actually run by Dr. Richards, who does our Introduction to Education classes. So lots of opportunities to grow as a professional, not only in the classrooms and through your coursework, but through professional organizations. So like Dr. Alfred expressed, our job is to help you be as successful as you can. And as the advisor for the School of Ed, I make sure that you're prepared when you're ready to start the program. At McKendree, you begin as a student in McKendree and you transition into the education program right around your junior year. So prior to that, you're working on a couple of things in order to prepare you for that. You need a cumulative GPA of 2.75. You need to have completed some basic general education classes, and those are your English classes and your mathematics classes. And then you also need to complete some pre-educational coursework. And they're among the classes that Dr. Alfred talked about. They are the Introduction to Education, where you get to spend that 24 hours out in the school, getting used to being out there as a future teacher versus a student. And then you take part in Dr. Alfred's multicultural classroom, where you get a chance to see the variety of students that you will be working with over your life as an educator. And then also you participate in that educational technologies class, so you can understand how to utilize technology in the classroom. In those, you need to have a C or better, because that's connected to your license. And then also you need to have positive disposition assessments. Dispositions are in essence attributes that we want you to have. Professionals have attributes like they're on time, they complete their work on time, and you will have disposition assessments completed on you during your education classes. And the whole point of that is for us to support you to be successful educators when you finish up at McKendree. At that point, you also need a clear criminal background check, because in order to go out to the schools in Illinois, you need to have a background check. So that starts in your Introduction to Education class and continues all the way through student teaching. But our role is to help support you in that. And on the next slide, you'll find all the people who will help with that. You can see Dr. Alfred's in that slide. These are our faculty, our main faculty. We have a lot of retired teachers who come in and help. They help to supervise and they help to teach various classes, but these are our main faculty. Dr. Dugood teaches our children's lit class. He also teaches our learning environments class, how to organize your classroom so you're successful. Dr. Faisal is the chair of the School of Ed, but she also, her area is special education and mathematics, and she teaches classes in both of that. Dr. Wicker's specialty is literacy. So you'll have her teaching classes on early literacy and reading and writing in the content areas. Of course, you've met Dr. Alfred, and she shared a little bit of what she does. It says Dr. Carrie Oriani, but it's actually Dr. Nasser. And she's now the director of our teacher ed. And she also teaches special ed classes. Dr. Richards does our introduction to education and our educational psychology class. And Dr. Tungsing Meyer does teaches our educational technologies class. And all of these people also supervise students in the field, as do I. And we're all here as former classroom teachers and now university faculty to help you make the transition into the public schools and be successful as an educator. Our goal is to make you an educator who has a long career in the school districts. And the better we prepare you, the more likely that is to happen. So at McKendree, we take that job very seriously. From meeting with me your freshman year, you meet with me every single semester to plan out your classes and help you get to those admissions requirements. And all the faculty's here to support you in and out of the university and the schools.
One thing I think we forgot was also to be licensed in the state of Illinois, you have to pass the Edtpa assessment, which is something we also are working hard to help support you be successful on that. So Dr. Duguid runs a training every summer to help you prepare prior to your student teaching experience. I, in instructional planning, will walk you through all the expectations for Edtpa so you start beginning that path. And then during your student teaching, there's a seminar once every other week or something like that, where you'll come onto campus and we will help you write your Edtpa assessment portfolio. And we'll teach you how to upload it onto the internet and make sure that you definitely pass Edtpa in order to get your license in the state of Illinois.
So yeah, that is definitely our goal. And by the time you finish our program, you will have taken all the licensure requirements. Upon graduation, our licensure officer goes in and entitles you for your license. So our goal is to ensure your success. And this happens to be a quote from one of our local principals in Collinsville. And I think it's very, it really draws attention to what the people at McKendree do. And I'm just going to go ahead and read it. So after 3 days of interviewing, McKendree grads definitely stand out. They have a true understanding of a variety of assessments to guide instruction. They have some solid methods for teaching reading and mathematics, and they present themselves as true professionals. The interview team was in full agreement that McKendree is doing it right. 2 graduates were officially hired by the board last night, and I look for a couple more McKendree people to go through our next board meeting. Keep sending those awesome candidates my way. And we get that response from a lot of our building administrators. It's very typical for the local principals to send us emails before the school year starts looking for teacher candidates. So it's a great place to learn how to be an educator. And this is our contact information. I'm here, the advisor for the School of Ed. Again, I stick with you from freshman year all the way until you graduate. And sometimes I work with you as a grad student as well, if we're fortunate. Dr. Faisal, of course, is our not only a professor, but the chair for the School of Ed. Dr. Nasser is our director of teacher ed. And Mrs. Washington is not only our licensure officer, but she's our field coordinator. And we're all here to support you and make sure you're successful.
Thank you guys so much. If there's any questions, please make sure to pop in the Q&A feature. I do have a few that we usually get from a time or two in the Office of Admission, especially as students are learning more about the School of Education program. really the big thing is, and maybe in your opinion, and I know that quote said it so perfectly, but what really makes the McKendree education experience so different or perhaps better?
I think I've come from a large university, and teaching at a small university, I think that's a huge benefit to our students. You are going to know Dr. Duguid. Everybody in our program does, because they've all had classes with him. Everybody knows who I am because everybody's been in one or two of my courses. And, you feel more comfortable walking into your professor's offices. I had a student come in today and just chit chat with me for half an hour. Cindy McKendree is always there, and I know students are popping in all the time to just say hi. And I think we are lucky and fortunate enough to provide those one-on-one relationships. I still communicate with students who graduated last year, and if they need anything, they know that all of us are here to answer their questions or send them resources. I had a student who's struggling to teach writing and said, "Hey, Dr. Alford, I really need a book to help me teach writing." And I just send her my ideas. And I think that's what being at a smaller institution offers.
And I agree with Dr. Alford. That's one of the great things about McKendree. I too came from a larger university, was my last job. And I also went to a very large university, and the amount of one-on-one and just support that students at McKendree receive is really not typical across institutions. And it's really impressive, and it really provides students with an opportunity to do well.
So we do have a lot of students that come to McKendree from out of state, including students that are interested in education. How does our School of Education help those students prepare to teach outside of the state of Illinois?
I think the state of Illinois has very high standards for instructional practice and guidelines for licensure programs. And therefore, students who get an education in Illinois, let alone McKendree, are well prepared to take that teaching license to a different state.
And how early on can students start taking education courses?
Students start taking education courses as early as their freshman year. Dr. Alford could probably tell you she has some freshmen in her multicultural class, and they can also take educational technology during their freshman year. So a lot of my students, if they don't take it their freshman year, they start with their education classes as early as their sophomore year.
All right, so thank you so much to our panelists, Dr. Alford and Cindy. They will be staying on the webinar, but please let me just direct you real quick and take a moment to jot down any of the contact information for some of our faculty and staff within the School of Education. If you have any questions, I know they would love to hear from you, whether via phone or email. So I'll go ahead and just leave this up for a second here, and then we'll switch over to our admission presentation. So now I'm going to go ahead and switch over to our admission presentation so you can learn a little bit more about being a part of the McKendree experience.
Founded in 1828, McKendree University is Illinois' first institution of higher education. Located in the historic town of Lebanon, Illinois, McKendree is a private university that provides students with a combination of comprehensive coursework and experiential learning. With a total undergraduate enrollment of 2,499 students, McKendree students represent 41 states and 38 countries. Conveniently located 30 minutes away from downtown St. Louis, McKendree offers the perfect mix of small town living and big city adventure.
So out of the almost 2,500 students at McKendree University, 1,300 full-time undergraduate students are enrolled at our main Lebanon, Illinois campus, while we maintain our longstanding affiliation with United Methodist Church. We welcome and embrace students from all religions, ethnicities, and socioeconomic backgrounds. We are able to maintain a large amount of diversity in this medium-sized student body. Our most up-to-date data shows that students come from 40 states and 40 countries. While 60% of our students do come from the state of Illinois, we draw students from all over the United States, including Missouri, California, Texas, Wisconsin, Ohio, Indiana, and Florida. We pride ourselves on the diversity of our student body. About 12% of our students identify as Black or African American, and about 9% are international students. These international students come from countries as far away as Sweden, Brazil, Italy, Thailand, New Zealand, and Kenya, among many others. Our beautiful campus sits at 112 acres in historic Lebanon. When you visit campus, you will take in the grandeur of centuries-old brick buildings standing side by side, modern architecture. Towering, stately oak trees invoke reverence and majesty as our community warmly greets you everywhere you go. We are located in the charming town of Lebanon, home to about 4,400 people. It is a safe community that has all the features you want in a college town: great adventure, restaurants, rich history, shopping, and great community support. You're also about 25 miles from the Arch in downtown St. Louis, Missouri, providing endless cultural, recreational, and professional opportunities. We mentioned experiential learning. Half of McKendree's students complete an internship in any given year, and our students have interned at Fortune 500 companies, federal and various local government agencies, nonprofit and community service organizations, arts organizations, and many more. This mixture of a safe and personal environment with big city opportunities is truly unmatched by any other institution in our region.
With more than 50 academic programs and over 80 clubs and co-curricular activities, McKendree offers everything students need for an incredible college experience. With an average class size of 14 and a 98% postgraduate success rate, students are guaranteed to have all their academic needs met with success right around the corner. Oh, did we forget to mention our Bearcats participate in the NCAA Division II Great Lakes Valley Conference? McKendree not only excels in academic prowess, but also athletics.
As we mentioned, McKendree University is a liberal arts institution. This means you will take part in an exciting, dynamic, multidisciplinary curriculum that will uniquely prepare you for post-college life and set you apart from other college graduates. In addition to developing strong skills in your chosen program of study, you will be able to form a well-rounded base of knowledge that you will highlight to potential employers and graduate schools. Many high-level executives of major corporations and other business and education professionals routinely indicate their preference for graduates from liberal arts colleges. This outstanding academic experience is enhanced by the personal education that all Bearcats receive, which you heard from our faculty and staff earlier. None of our classes are taught by teaching assistants or TAs. every single class is taught by an instructor that is accomplished in their field and has a vested interest in your success. Over 90% of our faculty have obtained a doctorate or the equivalent terminal degree in their field. Our student to faculty ratio is 14:1, which means that you will develop close professional and mentoring relationships with your professors. This is an opportunity exceedingly rare at other institutions. Our faculty make themselves available with plentiful office hours to help you in their class, to meet and discuss general career advice, or embark on research with you. Additionally, McKendree comes together every April for the Academic Excellence Celebration, a day on which no classes are held and students have the opportunity to present their research and findings and share their creative works with the campus community. This day is a microcosm of the personalized academic experience and real-world experience that is uniquely offered here at McKendree. Outside of the classroom, there is no shortage of things to do. We have almost 90 registered student organizations ranging from academic and pre-professional honor societies, community service organizations, and other unique special interest groups, including sorority and fraternity life. Our Bearcats compete in the NCAA Division II Great Lakes Valley Conference, and the Hettenhouse Center for the Arts brings in guest speakers and artists, in addition to serving as the home for all McKendree performance arts programs. With our liberal arts curriculum and plentiful out-of-class opportunities, it's no wonder that as a university, we can boast a 98% graduation success rate across all of our programs. So in other words, within 6 months of graduation, 98% of our Bearcats are either employed or in a graduate and professional degree program. This is one of the best post-graduation success rates, not only in the St. Louis region or even in Illinois, but also in the entire Midwest. Choosing to come to McKendree is choosing to invest in a bright future.
Would you like to become a future Bearcat? You can apply to enroll at McKendree University by following these simple steps. Submit a free application online or apply through the Common Application. Next, submit your official high school transcript to your admission counselor. Official SAT and ACT test results are optional for the fall 2021 academic year in order to provide more access during these unprecedented times. Fill out your free application for federal student aid, also known as FAFSA, on October 1st. McKendree school code is 001722. Passing applications open on December 1st, so be sure to fill it out to get the ball rolling on meeting your new live-in friends. During the winter, financial aid packages will be available. And last but not least, the enrollment deposit deadline is May 1st.
So you just viewed our entire application process at a glance. Your first step is to apply. You can submit a free application online at apply.mckendree.edu. Again, that is apply.mckendree.edu. You can also submit a common application. In order to provide greater access this year, we will not require standardized test scores for students planning to start in the fall 2021 term. Again, you will not be required to submit ACT or SAT standardized test scores for the admission or academic scholarship consideration. Simply send your high school transcripts to McKendree's Office of Admission, and your admission counselor will connect to discuss your next steps. We provide a holistic review of your application, meaning we do not look only at your GPA. We consider the types of classes you take in each high school year, your earned grades and grade trends, and the information you provide in your personal statement, along with your involvement in the application process itself. The 2021-2022 FAFSA became available on October 1st. And we highly encourage you to submit your FAFSA because it provides students with the opportunity to be considered for all sources of federal, state, and institutional aid. Your admission counselor will reach out to you directly when your financial aid package is available, but not hesitate to reach out, especially regarding financial aid. If you have questions, it's never too early to email, call, or text the Office of Admission. McKendree's housing application becomes available to seniors on December 1st. Our resident hall options range from 3 traditional style resident halls and 1 suite style resident hall. These 2 options range in price, layout, and overall experience. So consider setting up a campus visit to get a feel for what is right for you. And while we hope you make it McKendree right away, admitted students have until May 1st to finalize their decision and submit their enrollment deposit.
McKendree University is a place with so much to offer. From the residential experience to state-of-the-art classrooms, McKendree offers all the amenities to shape your university experiences in an amazing way. But don't just take our word for it. Take a look at what some of our students have to say.
Every single faculty member wants that personal connection with their students.
Our average class size is between 10 and 14.
The professor knows your name, so they know your strengths. They'll recommend you for different groups, they'll recommend you for different programs, and they are just phenomenal.
Having these smaller classes, it makes it very easy to have a one-on-one conversation with them. It's easier to ask questions of the class.
Every day they walk into the classroom and they see a professor who is passionate and inspired, and that is contagious.
As previously mentioned, McKendree offers more than 50 academic programs, and our caring faculty and staff are ready to help you find your passion. A support network is already in place for you at McKendree. Student services are a large part of the McKendree community, as we are dedicated to the continuous growth and success of all our students. Services include a Student Success and Advising Center, equipped with tutors, a Career Services Center with advisors that can help you plan for the future, and public safety officers available 24/7. One of the most important factors in choosing a college or university is cost. Well, at McKendree University, we believe that higher education should be affordable. It is for this reason that we award over $24 million in institutional aid annually. We also offer a variety of scholarships, like the Dean's, the Presidential, and the Honors Scholarships.
All right, so please take a moment to view our academic scholarship criteria. If you have at least a 2.75 cumulative GPA or higher on a 4.0 scale, you will automatically receive an academic scholarship at the time of admission. Your application for admission is the application for these scholarships. Each academic scholarship is renewable each year for 4 years. Recipients of the honors scholarships are automatically admitted to our honors program, which allows you to take specialized general education courses and the opportunity to complete an honors thesis before you graduate. Other McKendree students and transfer students can apply to join the honors program. If you have any questions about these scholarships, how these scholarships may stack with other forms of aid or the financial aid process in general, please do not hesitate to reach out. So as you can see, we are excited to work with you and get started with this process. And if there's any other questions that you might have, at this point, I want to welcome back our School of Education panel. So have them come in and join me as we close out this webinar series. All right, perfect. So I just want to give this opportunity if anyone has any questions, if they want to drop them in the Q&A, we'll just give it a moment. Well, if nobody has any questions, I would like to invite the panel just to share any last minute thoughts that you might have. Students that are interested in McKendree, interested in education, anything else that you want to add?
Yeah, if you would like any information about education or would just like to talk to somebody about different licensure opportunities, please don't hesitate to contact me and I'd be happy to talk with you about what's available. I often work with students who are choosing to start their programs at a community college and transfer in. So whether you're a brand new freshman or you're considering being a transfer student, please feel free to contact me and I'll help you in any way I can.
Nice. I was, as I was watching the video with you all, I realized another awesome opportunity that McKendree offers, especially for teachers, is no matter what kind of school you want to go into, if you want to teach in a rural setting, if you want to teach in a suburban setting, or if you want to teach in an urban setting, we have opportunities in all three of those spaces because we're so close to St. Louis. So no matter what kind of a school you hope to go into, we will place you in those schools so that you get the experience you want in the kind of atmosphere that you're looking to teach in. And I can't wait to see you all in my class.
Well, thank you guys so much. I also have learned a lot tonight, and I do so every time that I'm able to get interaction with all of our faculty and staff. As you can see, they're so willing to help out, educate students on different programs and opportunities. So Katie and Cindy, thank you so much again for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you around. And to those watching, we hope that you make it McKendree and become a future Bearcat. Thank you guys so much.